How are you?
Hi.
Arnold, please don't do that.
Let me ask you a question. Yes. Did you make this bed?
Yes. Why, is it a bit lumpy?
No, it feels good. The color. It's you.
Oh, don't be mean. It's me. I think that might be cruel.
It's you. I'm telling you.
Your new film?
Thank you, by the way, for the compliments.
About the Mazzola?
No.
Oh, about you being so huge.
Huge, big, monstrous, gigantic. And I love
throbbing.
Those words. Oh, it's just amazing. I love that.
I'm glad.
Keep talking.
Tell me about your new film.
What do you want to know?
Well, what is it about it that appealed to you? Apart from...
Everything. Everything in this movie was something that appealed to me. It was the biggest action movie that I have ever done. It has the most incredible chase scenes. It has the most wonderful suspense in it. But at the same time, it has wonderful comedy. So it is really a movie that has everything that really keeps the suspense up, but it always has this comic relief throughout and spectacular action sequences. I mean, really, it's really a movie that I'm very proud of, and I'm sure that everyone in the world will love this film.
Now, in the book about the film that I was looking at, it has a picture of you flying through the air, landing, it says, on a cushioned grass pad. Do you do most of your stunts? I mean, that seems very risky.
Why did you have to say that I'm landing on a cushioned grass? I mean, why couldn't you just say that you landed in this hard cement, so it makes me look more studly? Why can't you just... Why do you have to give it away?
I know, I did a bit.
And yes, don't ever do this again, okay?
I'm sorry I mentioned the cushioned grass pad.
I can't believe you're giving away the inside secrets. But anyway, I was flying a lot through the air in this movie, you're right. Whenever you have a movie that is called Last Action Hero, I mean, especially action, when you have this word action in the title, then you have to provide scenes that you've never done before, or that people have never seen before. So what we did in this movie is we created action sequences that are so spectacular, and it involved a lot of my participation. So it was really some wild action sequences, or car chases, and hanging on a crane and 20 stories above.
Why did they let you do that, though?
It is just what happens today is, and you know what's going on with the movie technology and with the sophistication of the audience. Today you can't go anymore and fake those things like in the old days, where you let someone else do all the dirty work and the dangerous stuff, and because you're far away from with the camera, and then you come into the close-up. Today the audience wants to see you, the actor, do the action sequence. So what happens is you do everything except the kind of scenes where you feel like you could get killed. From that, and let a stuntman, a professional, do those kind of scenes. But most of the stuff I ended up having to do myself.
But the girls in Hollywood now, they have somebody stand in for all their bits, don't they?
No. There's some women that do that, but I tell you, I worked with, for instance, with Sharon Stone in Total Recall, and Sharon Stone did a lot of her stunts herself. And she practiced, like, for a month, the fight scenes and all this, the karate fight scenes and all that.
She might have done the fighting, but maybe if it was her bottom that was on the camera, she would have had somebody else's bottom.
No. I was lying in bed with her on the opening sequence of that movie, of Total Recall. And I remember I was lying there, and it was her body that was wrapped around me. And, I mean, there's a difference between her body and someone else's body. I would have noticed this right away.
In your film, you also do a scene where you're in tights. The Hamlet scene. Have you ever longed to do those sort of parts?
I love that scene. Wasn't it great? Can you imagine? People always ask me,
my
whole career, they said to me, are you going to ever do something like Hamlet? I say eventually. And there we did it. In Last Action Hero. Of course, with the Schwazenegger style.
Very much so.
Stogie in the mouth. To be or not to be. Not to be. Everything blows up around me, right? So you got to do things differently a little bit. But
now, there's a little boy in the film. A little boy's horrible to work with.
They always say that. I mean, everyone in Hollywood always says, don't work with special effects. Don't work with animals. Don't work with little kids, because they can steal the scene. But the fact of the matter is really that we had all three in the movie. We had the special effects in the movie, we had the animals, and we had the kid in the movie. And what do I care if a kid steals a scene? The most important thing is the overall film. And at the end of the film, you have to love the film, and the audience has to really fall in love with the project rather than one scene and worry about one scene. So I'm not that worried about it. I think that the child, Austin O'Brien, really helped me to bring out certain kind of emotions and vulnerability during my acting scenes, which a grown-up maybe would not have been able to do. So I think it's a big plus working with children. Remember Kindergarten Cop? 35 children I worked with for 3 months. That was a challenge.
And they were little.
And it trained me to be a father.
Are you at all a disciplinarian?
I would be probably if I would still be in Austria, but I think that in America things are quite different, you know, because I had a very disciplined upbringing. My father, you know, was like very rigid and very disciplined, and I remember even in the morning before we had breakfast, you know, he would have us do push-ups and knee bends and exercises in order to earn the breakfast. That was the kind of upbringing I had, which really helped me because in the long run, the discipline helps you, especially when you're a boy and you want to get into sports like I did. So that because I was so disciplined, I trained every day 4 or 5 hours, and that's what really helped me, the discipline to become a world champion in bodybuilding then. And then the discipline I learned then from sports, I could then use for the discipline in acting now. Like in the beginning, I went right away to acting school and do voice training and accent removal training and all those things. I remember I spent hours and hours on all this stuff to get good, but it was that discipline
like Eliza
that helped
Doolittle.
me. You know, no, it was great because I didn't want to get rid of my accent completely, because otherwise I wouldn't be unique. And I wanted to have all these things that be a little bit unique, not to be one of millions. Although in the beginning in Hollywood, they always said to me, they said, Arnold, you will never make it in films because you have an accent, and Americans don't like accents, and you have this muscular body, and no one ever made it in films with a muscular body like that. And then who can pronounce your name? I mean, Schwarzenegger, whatever it's called, Schnitzel, or something like that. Says, yeah, who can pronounce that? So you will have a difficult time. But in the end, what happened was that those things became a big plus because it made me unique. You know, it made me more, you know, stand out. And so it is now, it is no obstacle at all.
You couldn't get smaller, though, could you, if you tried?
Well,
if you had to do a skinny roll.
I never thought about it. You know, why would I want to get smaller? I mean, imagine I've spent all these years building up this body, looking as studly as I do, and as unique, right? I mean, admit it. I mean, you can go ahead
I'm
and admit it.
completely going along with
there
it.
you are. And then all of a sudden I want to be skinny. No way. You know, I like the way I look, and I think it really helps me in those action films that I do. It makes the role, the characters that I play, much more believable. So I would never play, and you're right, I would never end up playing a skinny guy or some drug addict that is hanging out or lying around in the street, somebody shooting up or something like that. First of all, because I don't look like that, and second of all, the luggage that I bring to the film is such that people would not believe it. No matter how good and how well you do with your acting, but it would not be believable. I mean, the audience believes certain things. I can do action films. It works when I do comedy. They believe the comedy, and they love me being in comedy, but I couldn't play something totally out of character. That would be very difficult to do.
Having made so many million quintillions of dollars, does that mean, I mean, when you're driving along the street, do you think, oh, that's a lovely building, I'll buy it? Does it feel like that?
No, I never feel like that, no. I don't think about my career a lot when I drive around. I don't think about the money. I don't think about any of those things. I'm basically a person that likes to have a lot of fun and have a lot of laughs and stuff like that. So I think more about how can I have fun rather than worrying about money and career and all those things.
So you don't need an extra motivation to get you out of bed in the morning other than work?
I get up at 6 in the morning always, and then I go to the gym. No, first I read the paper, then I play with the kids a little bit, then I go to the gym, and I go to the office. So that's usually my routine.
I'd still be thinking about the money a bit. I would. I'm sorry, I'm so shallow.
No, you're not shallow. It's in the beginning. Believe me, when I was an actor and I made $100,000 a movie, and And I remember at that time Clint Eastwood and Charles Bronson and Warren Beatty was making $1 million. This was in the 70s. I said to myself, I got to get up there and make $1 million a movie. But as soon as you make this first million and then it goes up and up and up, all of a sudden it becomes irrelevant.
I liked it when you said up and up and up,
yeah,
though.
Up and up and up. Yeah,
it was great.
But then you don't think about it anymore.
Arnold, thank you so much for being on the bed, because it has been truly wonderful for me, as usual. As usual. I made that sound like I'm always on the bed with you.
Oh, my God. It has been absolutely terrific for me.
I'm so glad.
It will be memorable. And as I always say, I'll be back.